The sound wasn't just metal, it was entitlement. Finally meeting physics. And at 6:12 a.m., when my timber rig nudged the midnight blue Tesla that had been choking my gate for months, and the rear end folded like a soda can. I didn't cheer. I just looked up at the camera and said, "Read the sign next time." My name's Caleb Hart. I run Hart Timber and Freight out on the edge of Flagstaff, where the pines lean like they're listening. My place sits behind an iron gate, at the end of a gravel lane. I paid for graded and maintain not a foot of it inside the HOA line. And for 12 quiet years, those reflective aluminum signs at the turn. Private road, no parking, access required 24 HRS. Did the job until a woman named Meredith Crane moved into Silver Birch Meadows and decided my entrance was community property. First day I saw her Tesla idling across the latch like a cat. On a warm hood, I tapped the horn. Tried neighborly, "Excuse me. You're blocking my only access." She smiled like we were old friends and said, "I'll just be a minute. Clubhouse yoga," then floated away. And I learned right then it wasn't convenience she was after. It was control. Next morning, there's a paper with a gold leaf logo taped to my gate violation notice. Fine of $2. Her signature curling like a flourish. I laughed, not because it was funny, because it was so brazen my brain didn't have another gear. My parcel isn't under their authority, and here she is printing pretend tickets like a deputy with a glue stick. And when I told her, she lifted a badge on a lanyard and said, "I'm vice president of the HOA. You can't threaten a resident on shared property." And right there, I stopped arguing and started recording. Timestamps, tire positions. Dash cam. Gate cam, the whole circus, because logging will teach you this, or it will kill you. Watch the lean cut when it counts. Let gravity do the rest. And I figured the same law applies to people who think clipboards are crowns. Then the money started bleeding. My driver radios one morning. "Boss, the gate's blocked. We missed a mill slot before sunrise." And just like that, $3,600 is gone. I tell her, "You cost me $36 today." And she looks me dead in the face and says, "Maybe plan better." And yeah, that happened. And it stuck under my ribs like a splinter. I couldn't tweeze out. A week later, a title company letter lands in my mailbox, asking about outstanding HOA dues on my parcel outside the line, and attached is a scanned lien listing my number with her neat signature. 87 for shared road maintenance. I call my friend Riley Boone. She's been my lawyer since we were kids, chasing the same fly balls, and she says, "That is fraud." Caleb, do not confront, file a complaint with the county clerk, and I'll draft a cease and desist. So we do the paperwork, stamp the forms, start the clock. Meanwhile, Meredith sneaks out with a can of bubblegum pink and paints HOA access only. Across my brand new reflective signs, the board replies to my email with a single sentence about reminding residents to respect shared spaces. Those two words, shared spaces, doing a whole lot of heavy lifting for people who don't want to look at maps. Neighbors who used to wave. Look at their shoes, rumor at the gas station says, "I'm running an unlicensed yard. I'm licensed and insured and inspected. But gossip runs marathons, while facts tie their boots. So I keep my head down and my folder fat. I add a second camera at the latch. I rename the desktop folder HOA Circus, just to make myself smile at 2 a.m. when the green recording light blinks. Then, the day that finally cracked me, my dad, 78, and stubborn in the best way. Coming for a slow lunch and a short walk, we turn down the lane, and there it is again. That blue Tesla, centered like a trophy, where my entrance should be. The clubhouse lawn, full of people doing slow-motion stretches. I call the HOA office and get a monotone about a stretch under review and a civil matter call the non-emergency line, and a patrol car comes. The officer is decent. He documents the scene. He also tells me towing means a court order. Unless there's an emergency, my dad waits in the truck with the AC humming. We end up eating in town, and he still says it's fine. When he steps out later with his cane, and that's when I know it isn't fine, not even close. That night I stand at the window and watch the feed blink green, not rage, not yet more like clarity, because she isn't playing by rules. She's writing them in Sharpie. And if I answer with yelling, I hand her the narrative, you know what I mean. I call Riley and say, you said by the book, then let's write one. And she walks me through a plan as boring as it is devastating, the kind of boring that wins quietly. I gather every paper with my parcel number on it. Deed, survey, tax receipts, road maintenance invoices. I could weaponize a filing cabinet with the stack we build. Then we serve a certified letter. Friday at 3:17 p.m. Short and clinical commercial logging traffic will operate on the private access road, serving parcel XXX, beginning Monday at 6 a.m. Vehicles obstructing access will be considered abandoned if they prevent legitimate business passage. Please govern yourself accordingly. Her signature receipt comes back with a barcode and a curl of pen. I recognize from the fake lien I install 3 professional aluminum signs at 3 approach points. Private road, commercial logging, active, no parking, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And zip tie a little placard under each one that reads, Notice posted. Prior. I upgrade the cameras to 1440 timestamp, locked cloud. Backed I email the HOA secretary with the letter attached. The county clerk with the parcel number in the subject line. I text the patrol sergeant who took my earlier report, not asking permission, but creating a record, and I schedule real work. A legit load, a legit manifest, nothing theatrical, nothing empty. And I brief my driver like a pilot. If she moves, we stop. If she doesn't, we give 2 short horn taps, idle, 2 minutes, then a slow push, not exceeding 1 mile per hour. No sudden moves, cameras rolling, no talking, no heat. Sunday night, I leave one last voicemail. Ms. Crane, this is Caleb Commercial. Logging begins at 6 a.m. Move your vehicle to avoid damage. Final warning. My thumb shakes, not with fear, but with the weight of becoming a story. I didn't ask to be, because some days, you just want to be a guy with pine pitch on his sleeves, who fixes his own gate and minds his own life. Dawn in the high country is a quiet you can hear. If you breathe slow. I check the feeds green in the corner, drive down for a last look. And there it is. The Tesla again. Dead center, centered like a ritual I call her, and get voicemail. I text Sergeant Ortiz on scene before 6. Camera's recording, she sends back a thumbs up. And that's all I need. Witness, not rescue. The Kenworth arrives at 6:03 like a beast that knows its job. 40,000 pounds strapped. Neat, my driver. Jamal looks at me. We good, boss. We're good. Follow the plan. If she moves, stop. If not, slow and steady. 2 taps, then proceed. I key the cabin camera so it catches my hands on the wheel. Check the time, overlay. Ray. 04. Jamal taps twice. Polite, neighborly. Nothing. A sprinkler ticks somewhere, like a metronome. We ease forward in first. There's a stillness right before something gives. Not silence. Exactly, more like a decision announcing itself, and at 06-1209. The bumper kisses the Tesla's rear, and plastic bunches. Glass pebbles. The rear suspension. Sighs, a clubhouse door. Flies open, and Meredith comes sprinting. Shout already loaded. Are you insane? Stop that truck now. You will pay for this. And I keep my voice level because I did the work. Miss Crane, you received a certified letter at 3:17 p.m. Friday. There are 3 posted signs. I called you last night, and this morning this is a private road. Commercial traffic is scheduled. Move your car. A patrol SUV rolls up. Sergeant Ortiz steps out, calm as a winter pond. I hold up my phone with the cloud feed and the certified receipt. She scans and nods a little. That tiny cop nod. That means the facts line up. Then she turns to Meredith and says, "Ma'am, the road beyond this marker is not part of Silver Birch Meadows. It is his. He gave you notice. He notified us. This is a civil matter resulting from trespass. Move the vehicle, or it will be considered abandoned in the path of permitted commercial traffic," Meredith says. The line she loves, "I represent this community," and the sergeant doesn't blink, "Not on this road. You don't." That's the crack. Not a scream or a collapse. Just a sentence dropped into a morning that had been waiting to hear it. And Jamal inches a half foot, and the hatch crimps. With a clean groan, neighbors drift out in pajamas, holding phones like passports. You can feel when a live stream starts. The air gets thin and hungry, and I'm not proud. But I'll be honest, I feel a quiet satisfaction, not because something broke, but because the pretending stopped and cause finally met effect. We answer the question people always ask. Couldn't you wait for a tow? A court order? By pointing at the months we already waited. The letters, the filings, the deputy standing right there. The rule we set. That if she moved, we would stop. And she didn't, so we didn't. It's simple as a ledger. When the sergeant is done documenting, she says, "Hart. We're logging this as a civil incident stemming from trespass on private property. No criminal charges." And I nod, because the point was never to win the internet. The point was to get my road back the right way. Meredith's husband shows up in house shoes, clutching a briefcase like a life preserver. Looks at the signs. The deputy, the crushed hatch, looks at his wife and asks, "Did you read anything he sent?" And she stares at the car, like it might heal if she glares hard enough. And I just stand by my gate and finally breathe, like the air belongs to me again. Maybe you think I went too far. Maybe you think I waited too long. Maybe you've dealt with a title or a badge that tried to stretch beyond the map. And you know exactly how it feels when people decide your property line is a suggestion. Tell me in the comments, where did the line cross for you? The fake lien, the spray paint my dad in the truck. Do HOAs protect communities, or just the people who love clipboards? And if you believe calm, lawful consequences should still mean something in this country, hit subscribe and share your story. Was I right or wrong? You tell me.